You've rolled out VR training across your entire organization. Your employees love it, the demos look incredible, but when stakeholders ask, what's the actual impact, or how do we know this is working better than our old training methods, you're stuck pulling together manual reports and hoping that anecdotal feedback is enough. But the truth is, most VR training programs are operating in a complete data blind spot. So in this video, I'll break down the 4 biggest data challenges that are holding back VR training programs and give you a solution that solves all of them, so you can track progress, manage data, and measure ROI. This is exactly how dozens of Fortune 500 companies that we work with track their VR programs. So let's dive in. The first problem you might face is it's hard to know exactly what learners are doing inside the headset. Once a learner puts on a headset, you lose visibility. You don't know if they've actually completed the module, if they got stuck, if they breezed through it, or if they just sat there the entire time. There's no record of how long they spent, what they struggled with, or whether they passed or failed, unless someone was watching over them the entire time and taking notes manually. In some cases, instructors are literally watching a remote view on a screen and writing down notes on a clipboard, then manually entering the data later. Without real insight into what's happening in headset, you can't coach. You can't improve the content. You can't even tell if the training is being completed at all. You're stuck flying blind, and so is your program. The second challenge you're probably facing is that VR training doesn't talk to the rest of your learning systems. You've already got an LMS, you've already got dashboards, maybe compliance tracking, BI tools, or HR systems, but your VR program, it's off doing its own thing. VR is operating outside of your LMS. You can't track completions like you would with a normal course, and nothing shows up in the systems that your team uses to manage learning. So teams end up having to manually export and import CSV files, build custom integrations that require developer time, or create workaround processes that become huge bottlenecks. Or they find their learner data stuck in a single developer's ecosystem and they are forever reliant on that developer for reporting. So what happens next? VR becomes an isolated experiment that's hard to manage, harder to scale, and eventually sidelined. The third challenge is knowing what to track and why it matters. VR training is still new. Unlike e-learning or classroom training, there aren't decades of best practices or universal metrics to lean on. Yes, you can capture performance in headset, but what should you actually be tracking? Completion rates, attempts, time on task, performance scores. It's not that teams don't care about the data, it's that the playbook is still being written. There's no shared framework yet for what success looks like, which metrics map to skill development, or how to compare progress across training formats. So even when data is available, it can feel like noise. Hard to interpret, hard to act on, and hard to use in conversations with leadership about what's working or how to improve. And this leads to the fourth and biggest problem: proving ROI becomes nearly impossible. Without comprehensive usage and outcome data, you can't possibly build a business case for your VR training investment. Stakeholders ask questions you can't answer, like, is VR training more effective than our previous methods? How much money are we saving? Are we seeing improved safety or skill retention? Should we expand this program or stick with traditional training? Leadership ends up with impressive demos, but no concrete evidence of business impact. This makes it extremely difficult to secure budget for expanding VR programs, justify the cost of headsets and content development, or compare training methods objectively. Without a data-driven story, VR training often stays in pilot mode instead of scaling organization-wide. Now here's the thing, if you want to successfully scale your VR training program, you need a solution to address all of these data challenges. That's why we built ArborXR Insights, a powerful new feature set built directly into the ArborXR platform. While ArborXR already gives you best-in-class device and content management, Insights takes it a step further, adding the learner analytics layer that's been missing from enterprise VR. It's what sets ArborXR apart. With Insights, you're not stitching together multiple tools or relying on one-off developer reports. You're getting everything in one integrated system, purpose-built to scale VR training. First, you get complete visibility into learner performance. ArborXR Insights tracks exactly who's in the headset and monitors their performance in real time. You get detailed data on session duration, completion rates, performance scores, and exactly where learners struggle. This works with any VR app, 360 video, or WebXR, third-party applications, custom builds, anything in your content library. No more guessing whether training is effective. You see the results as they happen. Next, you get powerful integration within your existing systems. ArborXR Insights connects with over 500 LMS, HR, and BI platforms quickly and easily. That means your VR training doesn't just sit off to the side. It becomes part of the same learning experience your team uses every day. Learners can log in using their existing credentials tools and launch VR directly from your LMS, just like they would any other course. No more typing full email addresses using a VR keyboard, no more hunting down separate apps or logins. Once a session is complete, performance and data flows back into your LMS, BI dashboards, and HR systems automatically. Now, training managers get a unified view of learner progress across all platforms: VR, desktop, mobile, and in person. No more manual exports, no more copy-paste jobs, no more disconnected reports, just clean, reliable data where you need it, which ultimately allows you to demonstrate the impact of your VR training, whether that means faster onboarding, improved performance, or reduced training costs. With flexible options for built-in dashboards, LMS integration, BI tool connections, or raw data access, you can analyze results your way. Our data team is also here to help resource you to track the right metrics and get data wherever it needs to go, so you can turn insights into clear, measurable impact. And finally, of course, you get enterprise security and universal compatibility. All of this runs on a SOC 2 certified platform already trusted by over 60 Fortune 500 companies. ArborXR works in any environment: online, offline, classroom, field training, even secure government facilities. And you avoid vendor lock-in because it works with every device and any content provider in the ecosystem. Content developers can ship analytics in days via our lightweight SDK, making it easier for you to get the data that you need. Speaking of developers, are you a developer working on VR training content? If you're building the training experiences, you'll probably be the one integrating ArborXR insights. The good news is, it's simple. You can get started sending data with just 2 lines of code using our lightweight SDK. The docs are linked below, and you can go as complex or as simple as needed. It's all documented. Already tracking learner events? You may even be able to just hook into what you already have, and Insights takes care of the rest. You won't need to mess with building custom LMS integrations or setting up your own backend. We've already built out LMS support for over 500 platforms, and all data flows through a secure, enterprise-ready pipeline. Prefer APIs? Insights also gives you ready-to-use APIs, so you can use it as a backend to build your own dashboards from scratch or to power your existing dashboards, portals, or reporting tools. No need to rebuild what's already working. The goal here is to save you time, reduce friction with IT and procurement teams, meet needed requirements, and help your customers prove the impact of what you've already built. The bottom line is this: if you're serious about scaling VR training at your organization, your data strategy can't be an afterthought. It needs to be built from day one. So if you want to learn more about ArborXR and how our new Insights feature can help you track learner performance, integrate with your existing systems, and prove ROI for your VR training programs, then click the link in the description to get started with ArborXR. We've worked with hundreds of organizations just like yours, and if you're unsure of where to start, our data specialists are here to help you figure out the right approach for your learner analytics strategy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.